conversation. It's an investigation about passion and purpose and precision. It's just me talking to people, really. Yeah, finding Flocus.
Hi.
You don't gotta talk like you on a camera, just talking to me. That's the idea. That it's just conversation.
Okay.
So you don't gotta look at the camera.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty well, actually.
You're pretty well. You feel rested after your vacation?
Yeah, I would say I had a good vacation. Change of scene and change of pace and all that.
That's an interesting one about to jump right into it because, as I said, I like to try to interview people in what I call non-traditional jobs, and you kind of in a non-traditional job, even though it seems traditional. And I say non-traditional in that you have office hours, but you don't have set Monday to Friday office hours, and you also don't really have
9 to 4 job or 9 to 5
yeah,
job.
but also you don't have normal vacations. Your vacations always seem very abnormal.
What do you mean by abnormal?
A lot of people vacations is like 3 weeks or a 2 week.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. You ever take like a 2 week vacation?
I can if I want.
But you
I
never
can.
do that.
I can split my vacation.
But you never did that.
I prefer to take a longer vacation, but sometimes, if you have something you want to accomplish or do or go, you can take a week
A week.
if you wish.
Okay.
In other words, because of my years right now, I can take but like 6 weeks in a year, and I don't have to take.
I don't want to take off this thing, you know. Continue.
I don't have to take 6 weeks at a time.
What are you thinking about right now?
I'm just watching how you making your head, and at this time.
To make it back. I always wondered how. I think I know your answer, but I'm still curious. How you decide to get into Christian education? Of all, I don't think that's like a thing. Cause you say you even had one. Like how you know that that's what you want to do? Cause it's not again, it's not a tradition. It's not saying you would have learned in school was an option. So I was curious how you got there.
I think I've always been interested in teaching when I was pretty young. In fact, I almost started off work teaching somewhere along the line. I don't remember exactly when, after school. But I think I had this, I've always had this concern for people, and young people in particular. I guess growing up in the community, I've always said I don't want to do and to become and to end up the way I observe a lot of people living their lives and so on and so on. And I figured that.
What that mean?
What that means? It's like I wanted everybody to have a fair chance. I wanted young people to have knowledge, so that they would be able to choose for themselves. I wanted to give people options, maybe even suggest what I think is the best option, but at the same time, yeah, it seemed to me sometimes people would make decisions just so, not based on information and knowledge and all that. So I was always about teaching and trying to see people. I wanted people to make the most of life and be able to see people make, their full potential. Because for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always look for the good in people.
Mm-hmm.
Look to see potential, look, that sort of thing. And I've always believed, there's this saying where they say, in the best of us, there's some bad or something, and the worst of us is some good.
But
So
in Christian education helps you do that. That's the role of it.
yeah, because I feel that everybody has God-given potential.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that following the teachings of Jesus, the example of Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
I feel if everybody, people know the teaching and try to follow it and so on, I feel it helps that person in life generally.
And you've seen that through the years? Have it been fulfilling?
Very much so. I was saying people move from A to B, I think. I think so. For me, when I look around,
Keep talking. I just gotta adjust this thing. Keep talking though.
for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I look around, personally, I feel that the church, everybody might not feel that way, but I feel that the church perhaps has had, school, but I feel the church has had a big impact on my life
It must have.
in every sense of the word, in shaping my thinking, not just the way in terms of my religion and God, but also the way I see people and the way what I think about people, and
So you think you're more tolerant?
and the way I value people,
Mm-hmm.
and value life and things like that. So for me, Christian education is a way of life. It is about reaching, teaching, impacting, changing.
So it's almost like a social worker, but you using the tenets of Christianity.
I'm bringing a Christian perspective to bear on what I do. But social issues in the community had a lot to do with my choice.
So had there not been a Christian educator choice, you would have been like a social worker or you think teacher? You think you'd be, if that was not?
Well, there are a number of things that I perhaps could have been. Social work was it? Even nursing was something that caring for people. Cause that too. Mm-hmm. It had whatever it was a caring profession. Whatever, everything that I've thought about. Yeah.
It was along those lines.
Even though, in my early days, figures and maths and accounts and those areas were the areas that well, I don't know what interests me, but I guess I was not too bad at them. Those areas, it wasn't too bad. But people, I felt that as I grew old as a teenager and so on, I think I always knew that I would want to work with people.
But do you remember saying a thing? I want to be X. I want to be A. When I grew up, I would like to.
In my very earliest days, teacher.
Right, because that was the known thing. That was the known option.
I suppose so.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose teacher, which was still working with people and children. Yeah.
So how it evolved to, who gave you the option for Christian educator?
For me, I said just so church had a big impact on my life, but I think specifically youth group
When
working
they
in a youth
told you
group.
that you could do it, that was like,
I'll tell you now. Now, the youth group afforded me a lot of opportunities. The ability to communicate.
communicate.
Yeah.
You mean
Speak
oh
publicly.
amongst groups.
And saying, travel. First time I traveled, it was this is first and second time I traveled.
Where that was the?
St. Vincent was the first time I traveled.
You remember that experience again? What year that was?
That was in 1975 or 74, thereabout.
Oh, but that kind of just before college. You was
Yeah. Maybe a little earlier. I was a teen, 73, 4. And the second time I traveled also was through youth work, because in those days, the Methodists had a strong youth program, and Moravian also had a strong program, and we used to have exchange. So when they have a tour or anything for youth, they would invite us. We would send like 2 people, and they would send 2. So I got the chance. I was to represent not just my youth, but the Moravians youth, to go to Trinidad at the time at a Methodist camp.
Okay,
so
my second trip.
That was my second trip.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that I got that kind of opportunity, and through that kind of work and so on. And it was in camps, workshop. I think in this case it was a really camp when we had sessions, and persons come in and talked about not the church, group dynamics and leadership and all those things. So I think that helped to inspire me in the direction that I would take later. I remember doing sessions on group dynamics, finding it real interesting how groups interact, people. Doing sessions on leadership, way back, you know.
When you're young.
Yeah, and things like that. And I remember thinking, wow, that sounds like something I would like to do.
Forever.
Well, it wasn't
For a
forever.
career.
It wasn't forever, but something that I would be interested in, you know. Because it was teaching, but it was in a fun way and in a relaxed.
It wasn't in a classroom.
Right. It wasn't in a classroom type stiff session. It was in, and I guess that's the first time I would have been exposed to teaching learning, other than in the classroom setting. You know, so it was done in that setting, fun.
Was there a Christian educator back then?
There was a lady called Wood, and she was, I think she came from the Virgin Islands. I met her. She was a Christian educator. Very short time though, for a very short time. By the time I came, she wasn't there anymore. She was very short.
You want to move with your son?
I'm all right for now, so not too bad. She was all right. She was all right for that thing, but that was that. And then
had no bearing on you. You never saw her, and
I would think I never had any thing, but she used to do some of the same camp.
She'd be the camp director.
She used to do, although we didn't have that formal regular camp program and all that wasn't developed like that. But yes, she would do that, and she used to do workshops and seminars and different things like that.
I still try to find the connection. I still trying to figure out if you saw her and you said that is the thing, or if somebody said, you know, you like doing this, so you can do that.
Well, the connection between youth and social work, teacher, and the church now.
Being able to choose Christian now as an actual occupation.
Well, back then, I was also, as I said, church meant a whole lot to me. I had friends who were members of my church family, members of my school family, living in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the circle in which I operated. And I also, at that time, even though I said it was just youth, it was church as well. I love the study of the Bible, and I was growing deeper and deeper into the study of the Word.
Mm-hmm. So you knew ministry started creeping in.
Yeah. And you thought that's who impacted me. I think one day, I think, I remember it was Alvin Barker. He was the minister then. He was at Sharon and Dunscombe. Didn't come to Sharon too often, to Dunscombe too often.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he perhaps identified some things in me that I probably didn't even know. And I remember one day he told me at that time, in those days, young people, lay people on a whole, did not get to do things that perhaps they do now, like going to pulpit and preach and so on. Lay people, big men, but not youngsters. But I remember he saying to me one day, I want you to take this service for me. I want you to prepare and go and do this service. And I'll come up and I'll preach. And I did the prepare. I didn't have a phone then. Then I got another phone call. He says, you know what? It was a night service. He said, you know what? Do everything.
A night service? Meaning like what?
Like 7 o'clock. No, it was Sunday in those days. He said, do everything. And I said, me? I am no more than probably fifth form. And then I did that. And as I was starting and so on, getting ready, he came through the door. And I said, what's going on here? He told me I didn't know he was coming. But he was actually...
So he just said do it, and he could have really had come. And
he actually wanted to hear me, to observe me.
Oh, so...
But I didn't know that. I didn't know that he would be there, or that he was coming.
And at this time you're about 17? You're
somewhere, yeah, I'm late teens. And
so you didn't have any because you had to do all these things. It don't ever seem like you had reservation or nerves, or because some people hear that and start panicking.
I didn't panic because by then, at the level of youth group and so, we used to have our little 5-minute speeches and talks and give people opportunity to talk on a little topic for 2 minutes and all them kind of thing. But talking about nerves, I think I'm a...
Excuse me, I want to move. I'm sorry. You could hold this, please. Let me pause this. Your son...
Come in.
Luckily, you're not in it. But...
Only as I got older, I realized that ministry must have been what God wanted me to do. Because whereas young people, children, church, working church, always attracted my attention. As I grow older, I realize that one of the gifts I have is the ability to speak to an audience, to groups of people, without fear or nerves.
I always tell people say I'm good at that there, but I always tell people that is a combination of genetics and socialization. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I always tell people that.
I'll tell you why I say so. Because as a child, and even now I would say, and people don't say they can't see it. I tell myself I was shy. I consider myself a very shy person.
That's why when you was talking, I was going to say, it's interesting you say that, because I know it's almost, if you were to judge yourself, I think you would think you're reserved.
Shy. I'm reserved, right? well, I guess if I compare myself to a lot of people that I deal with, I am reserved in my mind. But I'll give it this.
You're naturally reserved, but then in front of audience, you're not really reserved.
This is the thing with me. From a child, the first memory of speaking in front of people, I was no more 3, 4, right?
We me 4.
All right, listen to this. I was about 4 years old, 4 or 5. But no, it was a recitation. But hear this now.
Mm-hmm.
It was not my regular Moravian church. I went to this. It was in Spring Farm Church, some Church of God, and I had a recitation.
Mm-hmm.
The recitation was, roses on my shoulders, slippers on my feet. I am mommy's darling. Don't you think I look sweet? Right.
Oh, you can remember that?
I can listen to this.
At 4 years old,
I went more than 4, and the people clap me. Remember, I'm a very, very shy person, but they clap me, clap me, and I say it loud because I always had a loud voice. So they call me back up.
But you know that mean you can't be, because you know shy people usually talk soft.
Well, I don't know, but because they call me back up and I say this thing again, encore, and they give me money. They don't have 50 cents, and think people give me money, and I go back. I said that thing 3 times. I just get an encore because this little girl saying this thing so bold, and so, you know, people have little children. Roses on my shoulders, slippers on my feet. I am mommy's darling. Don't think I look sweet. Right?
Wow.
And then right through now, I realize that to this day, I'm preparing something, and I get nerves or stress or tension as leading up to the occasion. But when I step in front of the audience, I don't have any fear. I just talk like that. A lot of people get, I guess everybody, when they, not everybody, but most people, when they have this. But I don't get my in front of the people.
You get this
before I have to have a big event. Yeah, but I got to go speak something or a big thing, a national, whatever. And I do feel it the morning before, whatever. But when I'm in front, I feel composed. I don't study, no fear, no nothing.
Wow.
I just
That's a blessing.
That's something I noticed that. And I go right all the way back then. And I was real shy.
But what you call shy? Where you get shy from? Because
at that time,
all of your life seemed people oriented.
Yeah, I know.
So how you could say shy?
Okay.
You mean you're not loud?
Okay.
You mean you're not loud.
Here's this. When I returned to Barbados, that was after many years, because of course I left here and went to Antigua. My English lit teacher, who was then headmaster at the Allen School, we met, and he said, "Vera, you're a minister? Well, I didn't know you could talk."
Oh.
And several of my friends, some who was in
some of that didn't transfer to school. Some of that leadership in the church didn't transfer into school, or you were more reserved at school.
I had to speak at a Founders Day service or something like that at the Allen School. And in preparing for this, I was telling the students that one of the ways, I was very quiet at school, but one of the ways, and I was encouraging them to participate in whatever they're comfortable with, or find something at school other than your academic work to get involved in, because it can do so much for you. And I was telling them that though I was so quiet, maybe in the classroom, when it come to out on the playing field,
you was loud.
I wasn't loud, but I was able to do my own thing. I was able to do my own thing. And people notice it. My games teacher wanted me to do she seemed to think that, Miss Harper Hall, that I was it. She think that I could do everything. So I never played netball before. There's a B team and an A team. She put me straight onto the A team. I would be on the field. I would run up and down because I used to love to play with a ball. I went out on the pasture and I tried everything. I run this, I run this, I do this. So that don't seem like a reserved person. It doesn't seem a reserve, but on the pasture I was competitive.
But in the classroom.
But not. I don't know. It's a strange thing.
It's an interesting, yeah.
Because
Because
fact,
naturally you do come across as reserved, but then
right,
you are in all these things, which is not
right.
a thing of a reserved
I
person.
was part of the IVCF, this is a Christian thing group at school.
IVCF, not ISCF.
ISCF,
Oh.
right? And I was in that. Recently, I met one of the leaders of that. I hadn't seen for a long time, and you know, we embrace and talk and so on. But even in that, I was a bee around the place. Even in that, I think I always think I shy. I don't know why I thought I was shy, but I was not shy that I can't speak, because if
So you never had a case where you were too shy to speak that stay. You know, some people go on stage and them freeze or them stumble or them.
I'm not. And if I am well prepared, I am just free. I don't feel nothing. If I prepare, especially if I'm prepared,
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
So,
and at the same time, I don't think I am able to like speak and think on my feet like Nilsson or even Janita.
Oh. Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't have, I know people say them, you know, even the first, I've known in my early days having to do things and prior to the actual thing, you feel almost your feet.
Your nerves before.
But that has thing. But I still, the fact that I've been able to use my voice as an instrument to most of the things I do and that
is ironic.
Yeah. And yet ministry, although people feel that Christian education more so than being a pastor, because being a pastor is the biggest percentage of work is not speaking publicly, but ministering to people on a one-to-one basis. And that, again, going all the way back, when I started to see people in the community,
that's what you wanted.
When I see, or one of the things that thing I saw, I would see young women not working, home doing nothing, not doing anything for themselves, depending on men, having to take abuse, what in my mind was abuse, because you yourself are not working and you're dependent.
You don't have the means.
Right, so you're dependent on somebody, so you have to put up with certain things that in my mind, if you weren't dependent.
Why your mind was different, because back then a lot of women didn't even think it as an option again.
I know, because that is one of the things that I tell myself from very early, that I want to be in a position to look after myself and take care of myself. I don't want to be dependent on it. Yeah.
So you found your brothers and your sisters were like that as well? Are your friends? I'm trying to figure out
where I get it from. I don't know. I feel that maybe what I call in quiet and shy was that not only observant, that I spent a lot of time reflecting and thinking.
Yeah.
So perhaps where other people were taught a lot, I perhaps was thinking and internalizing and reflecting. So maybe that's part of it. So maybe in a crowd of persons where people are very loud and talking a lot, I probably was listening and thinking.
Yeah, I get you.
I think so.
But I'm curious, why they didn't push you directly into ministry? Is it because...
What do you mean push me directly into ministry?
How... Again,
why wasn't an ordained?
Right, no, right. I was going to say, you still haven't really said, well, kind of there where you get to Christian education. But I would have thought, given your leadership abilities, Reverend Barker and stuff, I would have thought in their mind, that means automatic to be a minister.
At that time, I did not want to be an ordained minister as I conceived or understood it at the time. And up to several years after, I still did not want to be a pastor. I only became a pastor in 2002, somewhere around there, you know. And it wasn't the pastoral work. It wasn't the caring, the looking after people. It was the administrative
Oh, really?
aspect of it that I did not really like. I
Really?
didn't want to be in charge of. I never liked being in charge of people.
What do you mean? Oh, you
Admin
want
inter-
lead, but you want to lead them, but you don't want to be in charge? Because you do camps. So
Camps were different.
you do, yeah.
That, yeah, but I didn't never like the
It's probably you mean
the
like the board meetings,
meetings, the board
and
meetings,
stewards board,
the board meetings and that kind of thing. That didn't appeal to me.
because that becomes almost business.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that, in a sense, you were always a pastor to the youngsters that you were dealing with,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
you
You're
were
a pastor
viewed as
today.
that,
You were a
yeah.
pastor to them, because
So you didn't want to be
you
pastor
had
the
to
whole
you had to
church.
care for them. You had to carry them to the hospital when they hurt, when something wrong with them. You
Yeah.
had to still care for them, and in that sense. But I didn't want to be. I said you start leading, but I still wanted. I prefer to be in the background working along with people. Or I don't know what it was, but I didn't want to be. It's
It's almost like you rather be like a community leader than like a president.
I don't know what
a
it is.
dictator. You don't want to be the body that is the overseer. You almost want to be out there
Yeah.
guiding and pulling. Which leads me to an interesting thing. How did camp come about? Because people always tell me I born into camp. From the belly, I was in camp, and all of my earliest memories is camp. And maybe it's nostalgia, but when people speak of camp, they always have these very fond memories of your camp specifically. Was that something that was there before? Did you had to develop it? Was it obvious to you?
No. Well, camp goes back before my time as Christian educator, because, as I said, I would have attended camps.
Yeah.
Myself,
Yeah.
as a teenager, camps were there. Camps were not organized on an annual basis until, the Christian education program and so on, because now you have people that are specifically working and designated to do this. But there were camps before. I had 10 camps before. I attend camp at Mount Tabor. I attend camps. I just told you, travel to Trinidad. That was a camp. The youth council had camps and so on. But camping back then were always memorable. I wouldn't say good or bad, but memorable. There was always something about camp that would be memorable. And in terms of like you weren't in the camp, when I came back to Barbados, I had a camp at Bethlehem. I think people like Brother Adrian, Sister Claire, a whole lot of that age group there with that camp. And I slept on Bethlehem floor with my big belly, with you. And I remember Grace Pilgrim coming, so people were surprised, amazed that I would be sleeping at camp with big belly. That was you.
But you remember the month camp key? Cause it wouldn't be summer camp.
It was an Easter camp.
It gotta be so that Easter. Big belly. Cause I born May.
It was Easter camp.
I'm looking at April.
Yeah, it was an Easter camp. Fortunately for me, I was not. I had a good pregnancy. I was never really.
You mean pain and
sick
and
or anything. I was never really having to take time off. So I was able to work right through until the birth of both yourself and Janita, and then take time off. Take the time after. I didn't have to stop work or anything. Yeah. So I was able to. But I
so
again.
That was your first camp you organized?
No, man. The first camp that I was a leader, that I actually had by default. I was a student here, and it was summer assignment. I went to Antigua in '79 for my summer assignment, And I was supposed to, as a Christian educator, was supposed, of course, to attend the camp as one of the camp leaders, I suppose, and camp staff. But when I got there, the camp was supposed to start like the Monday after. But there was some mix-up and persons start coming in from Friday night. It was people coming from overseas.
Oh.
It was organized by Antigua, but they had invited some persons from, not the whole province, but like, there was people from Barbados and Tobago, like 5 and 4, whatever. And I remember the news came out, some people come, the communication was pure, and the flight thing and so on. And they put up the first few people come up, and then this Saturday more people come in, and they decide, well, we got people to put, we have to go to the campsite at War Road.
Oh.
And we
So
had to go to the
camp
campsite. Camp had to begin. The place was, nothing was ready. Place was in a mess, dirty, the thing. There was no water. You had to bring water. It was, and I became the leader right there and then, because the other
who
people,
would have been the leader?
there were two pastors was thing, but they had the other plans.
Yeah.
They didn't plan, so I was the person who was available, because I'm on assignment and thing, and then I'm there, and I was virtually left to run that camp.
So
in other words, you were thrown into deep.
But they didn't pick up when they came.
They visited. But no, that camp is one of the roughest, but one of the best. Brother Jarvis was at that camp.
When you say roughest, what do you mean?
Tough. You had
challenging.
Challenging, because things were not in place. Every every day, let's go to the shop to find food. Things weren't, it was a work camp. There was a old building there that we were supposed to bring stones and marl and things and so on, and that went good for the first day, but the material ran out. So
wait, work. When you say work camp, you mean the plan in the camp was to work? Like, it sound like it's a project.
You had the normal thing, but part of it was to build. So we restore this thing. So like the ground thing, you bring marl and thing and fill up the place and things like that. A lot Estimo Roberts.
Wow.
Them people, they were campers then.
They were campers to you.
And I was not. No, I was not much older than. In other words, because I'm now young, but I'm trusting into this thing.
Yeah. Again, no fear.
I don't know. No fear. It was a learning experience, and I would say that after that, any other challenge that
seems simple.
Well, not simple. Not simple,
manageable.
but manageable. That was rough. Real rough. Everything was rough. It turned out really well though. You know what happened? Towards the end of the camp, we had a camp concert. Remember you had no proper shower and all them things there. You had a bathing thing. That days you had to make makeshift bathroom and all kind of thing and bring water from somewhere. Fortunately, the sea was nearby.
So I'll bathe with seawater.
Well, people went to the sea and come and throw their water over there, but water was thing and so on. Anyway, that camp, what made it so memorable, I remember, apart from the actual work, when you had work to do on materials, was good too, but there was a camp concert the Friday night, this last Friday night. And the campers went into the community and invited people. Made flyers and so on. And the night of the concert, the whole rock community came in their droves. That time you had to move all bed and make the school into a
hall.
And that concert was good.
So that
memorable.
Made it worth
it. And by then all the campers, having gone through all the challenges, they were bonded.
Close,
they bonded, and to this day,
forever together.
I mean, that camp was something else. As I was tough, but the people remained together.
So y'all had no bickering or fighting or...
Well, all of that happened because there were problems. There were times when people didn't eat what was cooked. When the cook went back home, and so she going home because she got frustrated. When all kind of things. But at the end, by the end of the camp,
You get through it.
you kind of get through, and you kind of all these things were overshadowed by this
'Cause the concert was
fantastic concert. That's and not only that, people come and I think they prepared a little sign, you know, come and leave,
leave
little money and thing, and players jam pack. Yeah, because it taught me that one of the things I've learned from that, and I've always, even now to this day in church, that there's when a group of people get together and work towards a project, a common goal.
Yeah.
No matter how much they quarrel and fuss and this do wrong and this do wrong and that. At the end of the day, if that succeeds, the fulfillment, it just you forget, and it brings people
As
together.
you were talking, it really did remind me of like doing productions. Like when you're talking about people, the cook walking out.
All kind of things go wrong.
I always say, what can go wrong will go worse. Indeed, anything could go wrong, it could go worse than that. But when the audience come and the show happen, nobody ain't care. Everybody is happy.
Yeah.
Everybody just kind of. And not only no one cares, the audience also don't care what happened leading up.
But the audience don't even know.
They don't know
right? So I find that it is important for any group of people to have the opportunity to work together on something. A common thing. Yeah. And even recent, what was it? The last thing I think we did, a fish fry or something, and we were saying, you know, we don't need so much people to do this and do this. And we were looking, evaluating and talking about ahead, and people were saying, well, you know, we don't have, well, how long we're going to be able to continue? We have the pool of persons you're drawing from to work, a few, and so on and so on. I said, but at the end of the day, yeah, you have all these things who will do that, but to me, my experience is nothing. There's little else that brings people together.
On a project.
And the thing is, that is not to say that such a project will not have real problems and create real conflict.
Do you have? So it's safe to say that Antigua camp is the most challenging one you to date of you could think of.
I feel so. Because
worse than the time you do juniors and seniors
together. Yeah, because no, that Antigua camp, I had only been in the country a few days.
Oh, so you just
I did not know where the campsite was up to that point.
You've not seen it either.
I did not know where the shop was to go and buy something shop then.
Yeah.
I you know, that was my first visit to Antigua. I didn't know Antigua.
Oh, your first time at Antigua too, so everything.
Yeah, everything, and it was rough, and they were relatively a kind of big camp. There were like 15 people or something from Tobago, about 5 from Barbados, and I can't remember else. I think VI had a couple too. It wasn't from all the thing. That was rough.
Was that also the most fulfilling, you think? Or that hard to say?
It's hard to say in terms of thing. There have been some real fulfilling provincial camp, because provincial camps have been camps where you see people move from here to there, who come in you see life-changing thing, and then you have the privilege of seeing them grow even after that. So you see the growth continue, and you see where they're where they've reached and that kind of thing. So that is fulfilling. And the thing about camps is that the young people who have passed through camp, you see them, they've grown up, and in your eyes, they're your sons and daughters. So remember, there was this guy Ian down by the sea, down
that walkway.
that walkway that we thought drowned when we had the police.
Mm-hmm. That was the closest thing to.
That was the most difficult,
potentially
tragic thing.
Situation.
And I see him. He's not in church, but I see him all the time, and he's a big fella.
Mm-hmm.
Big fella, you know, beard and thing. Mm-hmm. And in my eyes, I still like think of him like, you know,
the young boy.
That relationship is still there, and I remind him and thing, you know, because two things about him actually. The first time he come back when we start having junior camps, and he was like 9, and he came to camp. The first time I can't remember if he walked where that was the first time or the second time. It was like, I don't think it was the first time he come camp. But he came back young, because one L used to be at camp before him. Mm-hmm. And the first time he come camp, he was crying. He want to go back home. And I remember telling him, boy, I can't leave to carry you back home. And I tell him, when we finish the program for the day, I can carry you back home. I carry him back home in Clifton Hill.
And then what?
I went in the house, his mother's house, where I met his mother. And he went in the house and he talked to his mother. And I said, I have to go now. And he told his mother he want to come back down to camp. And he came back down to camp with me and stayed. And never thought about going back home again. So it was the strangest thing.
So his disposition had seemed to change. Like he was sad, want to go home, and then he seemed happy.
He wanted to go home. He was crying.
So he went home.
I took him home late because when we finished, I took him to Clifton Hill with his bag and everything. And when he got up, after I don't know if he wants to see mother, I don't know what it is. After he got home and spoke to his mother, when I said, I'm going, he said he won't come back.
Is the same camp he walk away?
No, I don't think so. I think he walked away a subsequent camp. He walked away a camp that he had a cousin visiting from the States.
So y'all went East Coast. Is it East Coast?
Yeah.
And he just missing? He probably.
What had happened? Let me see what had happened. I had left with the food. Them days we used to carry the pot. Mm-hmm. And I had left with the pots and stuff in my car.
To go back?
No, a bus. The campers had to walk down to Belle Plaine to catch the bus.
Oh, it's like a
or something like that. Yeah, the bus. Yeah, the bus will go through Hillaby. Mm-hmm. And when I got back there, I don't know at what point. I don't remember at what point they missed him. I think they missed him when they were down Belle Plaine or something like that. Mm-hmm. So obviously, some of the bus went down with some, and they went there looking. I had to go to the police station, and when I hear, look, that was the. I don't know, that one of the worst. You know, in school you had to write the essays, the worst day of your life. That was one.
That was fear beyond fear.
But I was talking to his mother even recently. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, when I was going in front of his mother, but obviously you him and her, you can tell the woman, but what's that?
Because there's always a fear you looking after children.
The people are back at Sharon now. And then I remember the St. Andrew police telling us we have to inform the St. Thomas police station. So they got involved, and the police all out there with the spotlight all about looking out for here up St. Andrew. And time getting late now, so I now have to inform the mother, call the house, and I was trying to study what to say, because you know you will write your phone number on the form, and I gone in the house, and I called the mother. And before I could tell her anything, she told me, Ian home, walk home. I ain't tell she nothing else. I ain't say nothing. I ain't tell her that we lost, we looking for you, nothing. I ain't give she no more story. I was so mixed emotions.
Partially upset at him.
And at her too, because I was thinking,
oh, your son,
you send your son to camp, and your son comes home, I would have thought that you would get in touch with somebody.
Yeah.
Or something.
I'm curious what he would have told her.
I don't know, right, what he told her. And I was saying, but, so for me, she also had us so worried, spending so much time searching for him. And she just did not.
Nonchalant.
Yeah, she didn't make any attempt to contact us. So for me, she also prolonged our agony.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was upset, but I was so happy
Yeah.
that he was safe.
Yeah.
That I did not say anything to her.
Yeah.
I didn't have no time to be angry or vexed or
You're just
anything.
happy.
The joy of knowing that he was safe and being able to go back to the campers who were all upset. Everybody was on edge.
Yeah.
Everybody was on edge. That was the first time I had seen the Barker guy raise his voice. I remember that day he and somebody get into thing, and that first time. But all of that was coming from the fact that everybody was so upset and uptight. That was a terrible, terrible. Our whole program for the evening, nobody can do nothing. That was, I would say that was my.
So he never come back after.
He come back. He come back.
The prodigal son, he walk in.
There's 2 incidents I always remember telling about when I had to. He make me.
He was your most troubled camper.
He make me carry him all the way to thing, and then say he coming back to camp, and stayed and never said he bored or want to go home after that.
Whoa. I remember too when the girl fall down in the bathroom. It was fall down or she had asthma. Or
she hit her head.
She hit her head to
and pass out.
That was
scary. But yeah. I was not there when that happened. But when I came back, I took her to the doctor. And when I took her to the doctor, I think Miss Mary went with me. And every minute we, cause by then she had recovered. She was still
in and out.
Yeah, and I calling her name all the time to try to keep her. And when I took her to Warren's, they tell me, hospital. So I had to take her to the hospital. That was a whole day. Cause I couldn't even, her mother, come find her mother. When I find her mother didn't come right away. And I had to stay there all day, all night. And she too, they even after she came, they kept her for observation because concussion. And I remember when they did discharge her and her mother had come late in the night, see, 10:30, 11 o'clock. She wanted to go back to camp. And I said, no, she can't go back to camp because the doctor said, observe her. Yeah, and I said, no, camp is not a place for that. When I'm bright and early next morning, she get her on call to come back to camp.
Boy.
But she had come back, but not so early, later in the day. I also had a late girl from Mount Tabor who got asthma attack. Yeah. That was a provincial camp.
Yeah.
And she was on, that camp was too close because we were in the schoolroom there and we had Defense Force carts. So it was really close.
Close.
And she went sweeping or something on and catch this bad attack. I carry she to take. There's a lot of incidents, man.
You know,
Andrew Roberts will tell you that my first meeting with him, I met him in 1982. He came to a camp in Antigua. And he saw a bicycle, and he went right in it, and he had a break, and he fall down. He said that when he was leaving Barbados recently, and I had to carry him to the hospital.
You carry a lot of people to the hospital.
Yeah, carry a lot of people to the hospital. I remember in St. Kitts too, I had to carry some persons to the hospital who took sick.
Was there ever a camp something happened to you? And somebody had to take you to the hospital, or
no.
You were the
no, I never had to go to the hospital. But I remember there was a series of camps where I don't know if I used too much acid, or camps with a lot of lemonade and a lot of things come out on my hand and so on. That was the most problems I had.
My most memorable camp is the mixed camp.
Oh Lord, that had a lot of.
I love that because it was so exciting. The concept of it, of junior, because I had the privilege.
You were still junior.
Right, but I always had the privilege of going junior and senior camp.
Right.
So like best years of my life. And then all of a sudden, it together for not 1 but 2 weeks. So all of our friends from junior camp get to stay this extended period. My most significant moment was Digger. My football, a blue and white football,
went out on the roof,
and Digger went on the roof for the football. And then y'all had this big meeting to decide if to send him home. And I just feel so bad because in my mind, he was so heroic.
Yeah, but remember where y'all are coming from. Y'all are playing those things. Remember, we are renting a bar in the people's school.
I understand.
And that we have certain...
I understand.
thing, and certain places are out of bounds.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
but that was so uncontrollable.
Because it only happened once. You never do it again.
We never do it, and it was too big, insufficient staff, but also because you're trying to cater to too wide a age group.
Yeah.
And so when you try to do certain things here, that group they're so left out.
Yeah.
When you try, so it was that kind
You're
of
really looking at like from
seven. At start, because we started out like 9, then it went all 7.
Yeah. So
and then had these people all the way up
16.
Oh, and unless then people come older too, well older.
Yeah.
Way older, because we didn't stop anybody from coming, because there were some people who had reached the age but continued to come camp.
Yeah.
And that was something else. Although the idea at the time was really there were only certain things that we're supposed to do together, and then there's these things. But then obviously player time, break time, you still gotta do together. You still gotta do together.
That was really epic.
So if you playing with try and play a little bat and ball, and the little children want to play, big children want to play, hey, you can't. So we thought that we could
juggle,
do things together like devotions and so on, and then have these separate, knowing these separate. But what about the times that they have to come together on plan and still things? So you know, camp days were interesting. And then the days when almost for a year, a period of time, you had a week of camp juniors, a week of camp seniors, and then within a day or two you go to provincial for 2 years. Those time provincial was like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was my life for a number of years straight.
Yeah. Was that the most fulfilling aspect of Christian education? The camps? I would think so. Was that like the highlight of the year?
In a sense, because
do sports and you would do quizzes.
Yeah, because it gives you an opportunity to interact with people for a longer, prolonged period of time. Whereas you do a little workshop, a quiz in there, it's an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you go home.
Yeah.
Because you can't beat living. Playing, sleeping, eating.
Yeah, the community.
You can't beat that. Yeah, and that's what camp. Yeah, because camp has all of those things.
Yeah.
And the people that eat, sleep, prayer, clean. All of these things together. You can't.
Clean and having duties. That was awful. I remember not want to do bathroom duties. Nobody never want to do bathroom.
But the only body that I saw, one of the few that I can remember through the years that would clean bathroom even when they're not on duty. You know, is who? Mark Howard.
Yeah, he was real good. He was real good at it.
Mark Howard.
That's such an interesting thing, though.
Mark Howard would sweep, would do things, and he's not on. Things that few people.
I know where he get that from.
People things Cherry from. He was so helpful.
Yeah, he used to get most helpful camper.
Yeah. He used to get the camper. He used to do that. He was that.
I know where he get that from.
Yeah. Cause
but to this day, he's
still
helpful.
Yeah. You imagine people didn't even want to sweep or wash up.
Yeah.
And he cleaning bathroom when he not on.
I know what they're wrong with he. That's a very interesting thing. To go back though, I know we passed this point, but it seemed like you conquer it. The thing I want to know is at UTC, if you never had no pressure to switch to being I would have think in everybody's mind, the ego would have made everybody want to have the title of reverend. And I always wonder if you never had the temptation.
That's one of the things people ask me all the time. When I was here, many of persons, especially other females, who themselves, because of their church's policy at that time, the church had not yet accepted women.
Which churches? I know Anglicans don't. I know Catholic, but that's next door. Because Anglican and Catholic don't come here.
Yeah, but no.
So Methodist was accepted?
Methodist was. But Anglicans and Baptists at that time were not
I know
accepting
Annika
women.
not, but Anglicans didn't go school here.
Anglicans went to school here, but males.
Really?
Yeah, Anglicans are here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Anglicans are here.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just about, well, you don't. But somehow back then, I don't know. I never had, and in terms of the color and so on, I never.
You never desired that.
No, and I never. Remember, when I became superintendent, for example, right? When I became superintendent, I was not ordained yet.
Yeah, you get ordained.
And I remember.
So you could not be superintendent unless you were ordained?
No, I was superintendent before I was ordained. I was appointed superintendent before I was ordained.
Oh.
Right?
In my mind, they happened one and the same.
No, no. I became superintendent in 2002. I was ordained in 2003.
Oh, it's an overlap.
But what I'm saying now,
to be superintendent in my mind almost.
But I was ordained. I was superintendent before I was a pastor too. But when I was as a Christian educator, I was superintendent, which is unusual. But I guess at the time it's not anymore, because the Christian educators are all ordained now.
Yeah.
But in terms of that ordination thing, I remember when I became superintendent and I was not ordained. I remember planning for going to Christian Council meetings and planning for the National Independence Service.
Mm-hmm.
We hosted one before it was held at the where is it held now? Outside the church at up 2 Mile Hill.
It was Sherburne?
Sherburne, before it was held up there. And I remember Father Lashley saying, "Well, why are you superintendent and you have Culpepper and them kind of people who he knew
that were senior to you,
senior and retired and other retired people, and he couldn't figure out, because in the Anglican church at that time it could never happen, not just because I was a woman, but I wasn't
junior.
No, I wasn't wearing a collar. I wasn't ordained, so he couldn't figure out how thing and a lot. But over the years, quite honest with you, when I left here, and I went to Antigua first, and ended up living at Spring Gardens. Immediately, I started doing work that was really pastoral.
Yeah.
I was preaching. I was
you was doing all the things.
All the things of the thing, and I was offered ordination over the years many times. But I didn't want ordination. But then the church formulated a policy that Christian educators were ministers like
anybody.
Yeah, it's just that you're specializing in that area.
Yeah.
And that all Christian educators will be ordained. So people like Esther and so on were ordained before me.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured that I was, because I wasn't a pastor, because all difference at that time and even now is with the ordination is the
church.
No, the sacrament.
Or being able to
do the sacrament.
Also, you can have a church. You could have pastor and not be ordained.
Because you have lay pastors.
Oh, okay.
You have a lay pastor.
Okay.
And I did when I was pastor at Sharon.
Yeah.
When Brother Ezra, I wasn't ordained then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but I was in charge of
when communion come, a reverend had to
come in. The elements to take the elements.
Yeah.
But I could do that. I could have buried dead, all them things.
It's amazing you could bury dead, but you can't.
But that's not a sacrament.
I know, but you can also you could do baptism. You can't do baptism.
Baptism is a sacrament. Those two things. You can't
do wedding.
I couldn't do wedding because I didn't have a license. The wedding part of it.
So theoretically, you could have do wedding.
The wedding part of it is the wedding thing is given by the state, right? So in the Moravian Church, we say you need to be ordained, but really you could be ordained and still not a marriage officer, because your marriage officer thing comes from the state.
Yeah.
So that is a little thing, but those two things are the sacrament, right? But preparing people for the confirmation, preparing people for the burial, because I did burial in Trinidad. I worked in Trinidad before as a Christian educator.
And you do burial.
I did burial.
You do burial as a Christian educator.
Because it
seemed very like a reverent thing. It seemed very like some people.
Yeah, because an unordained person can. The two things really would be the sacrament. So, but anyway, when myself and Sister Binta. She was a missionary nurse. And both of us were commissioned together at the time. She was commissioned for missionary nurse. I was commissioned for Christian education. So when the PEC implemented the policy that Christian education should take, and everybody since then, from then,
Right on.
I said, but I already commissioned, and I don't really, unless I am in a position where I need to serve the sacrament, I don't see the need for ordination, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm already a ministry and whatever.
It's a very interesting thing though, because a lot of people would think you're getting it for because as growing up too, people were all, it was
looking
weird,
up to, and if you're near reverend, that gives you a certain
it was weird to explain
status.
what you were to people, because
I know
you was kind of reverent but not.
Yeah, I was in ministry, and people would have seen me, because like, well, when after you born and then you would have seen me preaching like Daddy,
like
there was
normal,
no different, like
just
normal.
You didn't have a church. The biggest thing to me was you didn't have a church.
Except I even had it, but I still had a church in 1989, 99. I had Sharon. Remember we were at Sharon with her? Yeah, and people would have seen me preaching on a regular basis like any pastor, but I didn't name reverend, and that was no problem to me. I never had I guess people always see this reverend as status thing, like, and I didn't the title. I never really thing. When I eventually decided with the ordination thing is after I went to Clifton Hill and Centenary. Because when I was at Clifton Hill Centenary, I wasn't ordained. Again, I was pastoring there before, and I was ordained. But what happened there is that then I had to bring somebody in to do the communion, which was not a big problem, because then you had gives, you had retired people that come. But hold on, so what really I said, no, this is not fair to the people, was the sick and the shut-in people.
Oh, you couldn't do second. You couldn't, or you did it?
I could have, once the elements are consecrated, I could have taken them to the people, but I didn't do that, because I figured that, but if I really want to get ordained, why should I be doing this? But what I said, I used to say, well, look, whereas it was not a big challenge to get people to come to do the communion, all you do is assign persons there that Sunday, and if the person was in the pastor and they wanted me, I could have gone and do this service or what have you. But my real saying was that it wasn't so easy to get persons to go to the shut-in and the sick of the congregation.
Because
it's time and thing. So I figured, no, this is not very people. This is my congregation. I am their pastor, and I should be offering them the same service as anybody else, as any other member in every other congregation. So maybe there, more than anything else, led me to say, you know what, you gotta, you probably have to do it.
How did it feel to get ordained after all of those years? All of those years in service, and then all of a sudden you get in this big cloth and you get in this collar. It must have felt significant.
The truth is that I probably, when I said yes at my when I was installed as a Christian educator at the time, commission, it probably was more meaningful and more impactful on me than ordination.
So ordination almost felt a little more mechanical?
To me, it almost felt secondary. It shouldn't. For most people, this is the big thing. For me,
it's a question of timing.
For me, after serving and after even passed through the congregation already,
it's just a formality.
It is just, for me, it was something that allowed me to practice aspect of ministry that hitherto I was not able to do.
Yeah.
So it allowed me to serve in that area and ministry in that area, but I can't say that it had this big impact on
So it
me.
didn't feel nice to wear the big gown?
Not really.
But that showed that you never really care about. Cause I know a lot of student pastors. That's all they're looking.
No.
That's a.
But remember that I was a past. I was already.
I know, but people like the gown. You know, the gown.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It didn't have that
significance.
Yeah. So then I had to get accustomed to being called Reverend.
Oh, and then the title.
Because before that, people say Sister Vera, Sister Vera. It's a lot of people still say it. Yeah. Some people say Sister Vera. And then they say, oh, you forget, you're a Reverend, or, we used to call you this, and so on and so on. But I never really... What's strange, though, is that having not wanting the ordination and not even wanting to be pastor in Christ's congregation, when I did become a pastor, I enjoy it. And I love it. I love the people. I love to serve the people. It was really strange.
Because the shut-in aspects.
Same thing. I love, I more than that, I love, and even the same administration that I ran for, like, I ended up being superintendent, which is mostly...
That's what I said, because the superintendent...
That was funny.
Yeah. So you didn't know... You didn't know at the time. I don't know. Or maybe you had done so much of what you wanted to do. I was asked to be... I had turned down superintendency before I actually... said yes. I was offered superintendent, and I said, no, I don't think I'm ready, and all that. But after come back again, asked the superintendent, and I said, you know what, I'm senior, I've been around for things, maybe this is something I should, so I took it on, and that really helped you to grow and learn, because the things that you end up having to deal with, I would have never known existed.
No, that would be part of ministry.
Oh.
When you think superintendent, you're a leader, okay, in that area, you're doing administration and so on. But who expected to have to deal with all the land issues?
Oh.
And the government to government things, and the this and almost like anything that would
a manager
or a business, and that sort of thing, which you can only learn from. It's growing and learning. So you start off, you're growing and you're learning, you're growing and you're learning. So the experience was really, really good. But the actual pastoral thing, not only was I involved in pastoral work, but living with the daddy, there's really, again, you're observing, you're learning, you're part of the team, almost like a team ministry with him. So when it came my turn to be a pastor, it's not new.
You knew a lot of it.
Yeah, there was nothing really new. So the transition was really not...
It's a very interesting life, I don't even think you really realize, even like living in Antigua 10 years, living in Jamaica this time, it's very non-traditional, very strange, because again, can you even imagine having to wake up at 8 and going in the office and having lunch at midday and then leaving work at 4? You can't
before I came up here, I worked at Standard for a short while.
What was a short while?
I work at the post office, St. Thomas Post Office. It was in Rock Hall. While I was at Community College Easter Christmas, and then immediately after I leave there,
post office?
What is that post office? Stamps and thing, and
administrative work,
that sort of thing. I know that was more clerical to me.
Okay, yeah.
Clerical. And giving people packages, and in those days they had a lot of things coming through post office though.
Yeah.
lot of letters. I
busy.
know them days, Christmas and things, we're busy because everybody communicated by
Yeah.
letters and post office and cards and
You
so
don't
on.
like it?
And people, yeah, it was short. It was an experience, my first working experience
Mhm.
and so on. But after that, I got a job at
Standard.
just before I leave here.
Mhm.
I came in 77, so I would have worked at Standard 75, late 75, 76 thing. And I was working there as an accounts clerk.
So you back to your numbers, foolishness. So you didn't enjoy that? Accounts.
Yeah, one of my things was going after people who
Who ain't paid the thing?
clear the
Bills
thing
and
and thing.
arrears.
So especially month end, I would get all these things, and you have to think them. But don't forget that I did A-level with maths and economics. I know you're doing with that, but
you end up
my
using it in
figures math.
superintendency.
Yeah,
It
and
still come back.
it come back. But it was very interesting because living, like, in my mind, right? I have a very love for the Caribbean. Perhaps I don't, whether it's Jamaica or Barbados or Trinidad or St. Lucia or whatever, I was surviving all of them. I don't, I say it as a Caribbean people, and I think, so that experience living in Antigua.
But that's also, you don't think that's strange? Is that not strange amongst people you interact with? That perspective on Caribbeanness.
I have a
it's
Caribbean.
Not common, really. People want to go north.
No, I don't.
A lot of your sisters, a lot of your family,
Yeah.
I don't want to say run, but that's the direction.
Yeah, but I don't have that thing for America and Canada and thing. Yeah, I just love I've never had it.
That's interesting.
I don't have that thing.
So you never feel like you miss out having not lived in
States?
in these big countries?
No. I guess I'm a small island person.
Was there a kind of ultimate goal you had? Like, let's say at the start of you, something very big that you wanted to achieve that maybe was even unachievable?
Unachievable.
So big and so grand that
I probably know, because my thing is growing and learning, and I feel that you're trying to be mature and more Christ-like, and I don't feel you can reach that sign you reach.
It's not reachable.
Yeah. But you're trying to attain towards this thing. So to me, success for me is not necessarily probably an elusive thing. You're always striving towards something, and it helps to I think people get frustrated and bored and so on. But to me, there's always somewhere to go, something to do, something to work towards. You know, even in ministry now.
So now
after
all these years, you don't got superintendency no more. So much less workload. You don't got 3 churches no more.
But
just 2 churches.
But the thing is, you know, a lot of people say, no, you ain't got superintendent, nothing you got nothing to do. But to me, when I wake up in the morning, I always have
something to
that
do.
I want to do or need to be done or has not yet been done, that need to be completed, accomplished. So I can't get bored. I don't see how I could get bored. I can't get bored with life. As people get bored, and I won't get bored with life.
So you're not somebody that looks forward to retirement and laying back and going on the beach and doing nothing. A lot of people
retirement, yeah, but if I'm retired, I will find something to do.
Yeah.
I would not.
But a lot of people retirement in their mind is relaxing and doing nothing.
But how long can you relax and do nothing?
That's true.
You will do something. I mean, you know, you'll do something. even if it's take up something completely new
Yeah, and pick up.
and something, you know.
Cause you say you want to learn some managerial stuff.
Yeah, and something you thought, oh, you always hope that one day you wish you knew another language.
Another foreign language, yeah.
And then a simple thing that I know if I would ever try it, because I've always had this thing for the sea. And but part of me says, well, but you should. And another part says, well, why? You know,
You ever went to the beach? I know.
Of course.
Of course. I don't know. I never.
Of course, because you never
used to go to the beach all the time.
Yeah,
I don't have a memory.
Because Daddy used to carry you in Janita,
But
and
I
I
don't
was
have a
just
memory of
a
you
main
going
beach.
to the beach.
I know.
You went to the beach in my lifetime? In the water?
Well, of course, man.
You said, of course. I don't remember, mommy. I have no memory of this.
It's like a double thing. One part of me says, well, you know, before you, at some point in your life, you should learn to swim. And then another part says, man, you know, I don't even want to go near sea.
What was your thing from the sea?
I don't know where it come from.
But from young, where?
I don't know. Recently, the last time Jocelyn was home, the one thing she want from me, she want to go to the sea, or she want to go to the beach.
So she went from you?
No, well, she different people
Yeah.
to carry her different places. But that's when I asked her what she want to do. But she come by me too, but she wanted to go. That's one of the things she want to go there, and she want to go there more than one time. But fortunately, Janita was available, so Janita went with me, and Janita went. I have pictures of her in sea too. She just went and see.
So where you wouldn't go in?
I know.
When you see these, I don't understand you. Like you think that you're getting drop in when you step in the sea. The sea very therapeutic, you know.
But I've got it. You because you never see me, you think I know you see. But it's not somewhere that I don't know. I've gone to sea though. I've gone to the sea over the years and join.
Don't tell me you gone to the sea, cause I ain't know about it. So
you ain't know because Daddy would take you on Janita, and I probably go and stop outside or something.
You never come in.
And the other thing too, when I used to take the children, when we used to go out for the
you
thing,
watching, you're not participating.
I watching, but I remember, especially the seniors, as people got older, they used to be real annoyed when I don't take them to a place that got to see.
Yeah.
But I used to try to avoid
a place that got to see.
A place that got to see. Yeah. Because when I take them to a place that got to see, I am uncomfortable until they leave.
Anyway.
That's it. I can't help them. So, no, more than that though. It also has to do with the responsibility of these children. Because if you are running a camp and you're in charge, no matter what helpers, assistants you have, and something happened to one of them children there, the burden, you feel that burden. So I used to be particularly unease when accident can happen anywhere. But I guess because of my own personal thing with the sea, I was particularly uneasy to carry a group of children. And when the children, especially when I start getting seniors, I was like, but we might have go to the sea, we might have wake us. I said, but when when let her carry you, let them carry you. So they used to quarrel bad when I don't go take them somewhere to the sea.
Do you have an ideal, like if you could rewrite your career or how things work out, what would be your ideal like wake up time? Say there are no stipulations of a job and you could choose what that would be like.
The time that I would have to get up?
And then go to work. What time that would be? Some people might be sleeping to 10.
No. I'm early morning. No. If I didn't have to go work, I still would not stay. Because I did not grow up with that.
I know.
Late thing.
So your ideal wake up time is what?
Like 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 o'clock in the morning. And then to get your bed. What's your ideal? You have to get to work time. If there was a time to get to work.
Well, during that time that I was telling you, I would have got to get work like 8:30, I think.
What was your ideal if you could choose it?
Whether I would go
start work. What time?
But obviously, I would prefer morning to later, because I am at my best in the morning. In terms of my thinking and my reflection and brain and so on. So you would get more to me in the morning.
Yeah.
Than if I had to work late in the evening.
And then what ideally would you do? Not saying you ain't get to do it, but you get to carve this thing. What would it be
one of
in a day to day?
You know, one of the things that I have interest in, and I did not, well, it was only introduced in my school when I was already maybe in 4th, 5th form, and I didn't get a chance to do it, was agricultural science.
Oh, because you love for the ground and
Yeah. So after leaving school, I remember saying to myself, boy, I wish that was available
as an option.
as an option.
But would you really have needed that, seeing that you're around all these farmers, your family?
I know, but what I'm saying
There's something about learning it.
Is who knows? It might have been an area that I would have been led towards.
I see what you mean.
So
you can see
because
yourself going
especially
up the ground every day.
Yeah, not necessarily on the ground. It's if you had done it at that level, it would be more than just going out ground planting something, because there are all these aspects to it, the different foods, the different things, and so on and so on, and the different methods of producing food and stuff. I love to see things growing.
But you don't get time to.
And I love.
You always had a garden.
I love the idea of walking out of your house and going and picking
pick up something.
anything to eat. Picking up fruit. You see how we come here and see that guava tree out there?
Yeah.
I'm just led towards there. I like that. Going picking off little thyme. I just like to see things growing.
But you come up in that.
I guess I come up in it. That's one of the things that, and maybe too, I probably have this thing. Well, that is what fed us, and
yeah. So you have
yeah, because you can't have all them children and work for enough money to think them. So that is an area of interest, and like if I will visit somebody's farm and just admire food growing, just so I just like that's
so
an
maybe
area.
That's something you could do
post retirement. Yeah, that's something you can do. And plants more than animals, because I also grew up with a lot of animals.
But plants, you're drawn to plants.
More than the animal thing, grew up with fowl and pig and sheep and rabbit and all them things. But the plants thing more.
And I know this is weird for you. It's very interesting though. I always ask people, if you had 10,000 US and you could buy 3 things for yourself, what would you buy? 3 items.
No?
Yeah.
Right now?
Right now.
I don't know what I would buy.
I know. But you have to choose something. It can't be paying the bills, it can't be investment, it gotta be tangible. 3 gifts for yourself.
I don't know. Because I have to study what you need.
Don't do need.
But I'm not going to. I'm not going to take $10,000 and spend it.
I know, but
I don't know.
The rule of the $10,000 is it can
you just have it.
Right, you have it, and it's for shopping spree.
Shopping. It's the buy sign.
It's the buy sign for you. It's treat
for me personally, and not to share with somebody.
Not to share with nobody. It's your thing. 3 items. 10,000 US.
10,000 US. I ain't really know. You this is the thing, but I know. I would probably buy a good but you see, me personally, because the things I'm thinking of is not just for me.
For the house or something, some food.
I'm thinking like a set to travel, like a suitcase, but a whole set with everything.
Money, that's for 500 US.
But that's it. That's what's it. That's what I'm saying.
I give you that one. The most expensive, nicest travel set, a 10-piece.
Something that will last and take.
Right. So that's one, and that ain't cost more than 1,000. So you still got 9,000.
But Neil, sorry, I don't know what it is I would buy for myself. I don't know what I would buy.
Not even a trip.
I probably a trip. Yeah, probably a
To
trip.
where?
Probably gonna spend some time with Nita and
You
Jocelyn.
can't do that. Not that.
That not that.
Some place you never went.
Oh,
Yeah.
someplace I never went. Probably one of the African countries,
Which one?
like Ghana, one of them. Probably one of them.
So that's good. That plane ticket.
Probably
That's still in more
one
than
of Ghana.
$2,000. So you got another 7,000 left.
Probably say like Ghana. For myself.
And then what?
I would. That's house too. I would probably change my wardrobe. I would probably throw out a number of things, and this is because I'm thinking of the future and not immediate still. I would probably change the wardrobe. There's some things that just there taking up space. You don't necessarily wear them, but you don't want to throw them out. Less when you want something. Yeah, I'll probably change.
The problem with that is it's supposed to be an item. So you gotta buy, so that not, no. The third thing is an item, it's only 3 things.
I don't know. Oh, and your sedan cost much. I will buy and not a computer, but that is easy to walk. Something
a
that
tablet?
that easy to walk with.
That's $1,000.
I if I had thing right now, I would buy one of them. Yeah, I would buy one of them.
You know,
A good one that can preach from work on,
okay,
so that I don't have to walk with a bulky
but
laptop. Something, a solid something.
Yeah.
I will buy one of them. Yeah.
You know, I was thinking you could choose as you was there thinking.
You telling me
like,
what you could choose?
No, I was thinking I was trying to help you, but I didn't want to force it you hand. I was thinking like a plot of land. I don't know. I was trying to think of a one.
But land for $10,000 can buy a plot of land. $10,000 can pay down for land.
I know.
No, $10,000 can buy land.
You can't ever find a. When I say I mean
a house spot.
Not even a house spot. An area of land. Almost like a garden. Almost like a little square.
Yeah, but
that can have
a area of land if it next where you living and making in yours anything you can't supervise it.
Yeah.
But that something like that, an apartment for rental or something like that. But
that's not for you.
But that can, it's something that you can use to get money when retirement. Yeah. But that'd be 20,000 Barbados dollars. 20,000 Barbados dollars perhaps can only pay down. On land. Yeah. I could buy some shares or something like that.
You can't buy
government bonds or something like that.
They say no investment.
Oh, no investment.
That'll be tangible.
Oh.
But you done gone 3 because the third is
But I ain't come to that money.
Then you spend about $4,000.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything that because I have the money I would just go there and on myself.
Yeah.
For house, yeah.
I know house.
To share somebody, yeah. I can't think of personally thing. Because I tend to go back for needs.
Yeah. After all these years.
I still needs and don't worry about wants. I still.
Okay.
Your school time gone, right?
That's it. Yeah, man, I'm going down now. So thank you so much for sharing. How was it? Wasn't too bad?
Well, we're just talking really.
That's what I tell you, just talking.
Yeah. He never had a big budget, but he loved it. From the day he first hit a bucket, he used to sing along with the sat the cartoons till he hummed saying you. It was a